So welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode in our Unstoppable Success series where I am joined by Bianca Riemer, the burnout recovery coach. Welcome, Bianca.
Hi, Nick. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So in this Unstoppable Success series, we are chatting with some of our amazing Unstoppable Success Accelerator clients. I want to be able to really reveal what goes on behind the scenes and what it really takes to become unstoppable. So how long, Bianca, have you been coaching for up until now?
So I've been coaching for about half a year.
So not long at all then. Awesome.
No, I haven't. So I was coaching friends and colleagues and business contacts before, but not in an official coaching relationship. So I did my official coach training and then I have been coaching people officially for 6 months now. Yes.
I think this is so powerful as well because I've been coaching for like 7 years or something now, and we've had our location independent online business, whatever that means these days. We've had this Unstoppable Success company for 4 years now. So I'm a lot further down the line than you are. So I think it's really important really to be able to share from all of the different stages and phases of growth. What did you do before you were a coach, Bianca?
So before I was a coach, I worked in the City of London for 15 years. So I trained as a chartered accountant and then I became a stock market analyst. And I did that for about 10 years. And I mean, I just absolutely loved it. I was able to be curious. I was learning a lot every day. I was able to show the market a different opinion to what they saw in their everyday lives and, change the world that way.
I think it's fascinating to go from something that is so like such a powerful career in like a very, very different way to shift into another incredibly powerful career in such a different discipline. Like, what are the like similarities or differences? And like, why was it that you chose to make that transition?
That's really interesting. So most people say, hey, that's a huge shift, from being a stock market analyst to being a coach. But actually, and in essence, you still do very similar things. So as a stockbroker, my role was to create content every day and to, spark interest in people's minds. And that's what we do as coaches, right? We go out there every day and we give people little ideas of how they can think different about certain things that maybe annoy them in their everyday life and become happier people. So in that aspect, it's very similar. And also I'm still really curious about learning in my current role, and the beauty of the stock market and the beauty of the human mind and normal people's lives is that they can be very complicated, but they can also be very simple. So there's always something to learn. And that's why, being curious is something that really fulfills me. Learning is something that I see as one of my key values, and I can do that in both roles.
I think it's something that's very powerful. Like, even though this is your first year as a coach, you've got more than a decade of experience that you can actually bring into your coaching. You've got all of this expertise, all of this wisdom. You're also a mom. And I just find it amazing. Like, I feel so grateful to be able to work with high-level women just like you, to be able to help you to transition these skills into the online space. So thank you for making my job so fulfilling as well. So we've got the background, like, you've created success very quickly in your coaching business. And I've obviously witnessed, like, through our work together, some of the amazing things that you've done, the work that you do with your clients and how you're getting out there into the world. What would you say is your greatest success up until now? And how did you actually achieve that? Like, what would you put that success down to?
I think my proudest moment was when another very high achieving mother told me that she had this massive mindset shift from seeing self-care yoga, journaling, getting enough sleep. She used to see that as a waste of time, and she was constantly sick with a runny nose. She felt overwhelmed. She was snapping at her husband, and she was just not happy in her role, constantly fighting with the thought that she wasn't enough. And she said what I helped her get over is to see self-care more as spending her time very wisely. So she no longer sees self-care as a waste of time. She actually thinks that this is the best way to spend your time, because now she's so much more productive. She's lost 12 kilos in less than 3 months. She feels amazing. She's got all-time high energy. She's got no more PMS. And also her husband has commented that she's a lot more relaxed.
It's huge, like the ripple effect. And I think like you really underestimate the power of the work that you do on yourself and for yourself. So you're helping this one woman with something that she thinks is like her biggest problem right now, and that impacts her family, or it impacts her clients that she works with, or she shows up better in her everyday life, so it impacts everyone she comes in contact with. It's
yeah. Absolutely. Her team has also commented that her leadership style is really something that they wish more people in her company would adopt. So she is in the leadership team of a global FMCG company whose products we all use. And she's really adopting her leadership style more towards a warm, welcoming, feminine type of leadership style, which is really welcomed by her team. So she's not just showing leadership in her own personal life, but also in her company, affecting those people's lives. So exactly like you said, there's this massive ripple effect from coaching that affects not just my own life, right? Having learned from you, I'm looking after myself so much more than I used to do. And there's always more that we can do. I'm living a lot more intentionally because of you, and because of, what you post in our private group that we all get to see, and the struggles that you deal with, that makes it so much easier for me to say, oh my goodness, yeah, I felt like that myself before, and it's not just me. So then I can go out and speak to my clients about what I'm struggling with, and then they feel the same that I felt before, right? And then they can show it with the teams that they're leading. So it's this massive ripple effect that starts with you, and then goes via me, via my clients, and affects other people that I don't even know. And that's what makes coaching so amazing, is because we, at the end of the day, we affect people's lives who we never really get directly in touch with, but through our clients. And that's what makes it so amazing and so fulfilling.
I can literally feel your passion. Thank you. And thank you so much for sharing like the implement on the hi, how are you?
Hi, yeah, so this is Max.
Hi, Max.
Max loves to say hello when he's doing videos. This is Felix.
He's always a naughty boy.
Yeah, he's always a naughty boy. There you go. It's my two little naughty boys.
No, so Felix is naughty.
The kids came into one of our coaching calls, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. So Max was the shark that tried to eat all of the other ladies on our coaching calls. So here we go. He's a normal boy today.
I don't know if everyone else could see it, but I was crying, laughing.
That was hilarious. Yes,
it's actually a really great point. Like one of the lady that wanted
Felix, we are both Maxes.
to her husband about the possibility of coming to work. And her husband had said, no, absolutely not, the value in it. And she came back onto a call with me and just said, no,
I have a big Max.
My husband said that he doesn't want me.
But we are both Maxes. I have a big Max. The guy has a big Max.
He's hotly invested.
Big Max.
And then he went and told him.
Hey, give me it.
And the husband ended up he ended up doing a morning ritual, he ended up just he ended up complaining. My goodness, so it's totally. I've got a question for you. So in relation to what your coaching business is, from you. Obviously now you're able to work from home and you're able to spend time with the kids. How important is that to you, and what do you think, like having worked on the stock market, what do you think the coaching business has actually given you, the different layers of success, and not just financial, but the time with your family? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so the problem that I had with working on the stock market, obviously, was that I was out of the house at 5:30 in the morning, and some evenings I wasn't back until 9 p.m. And some days some weeks I only saw my kids on the weekend, right? And it was almost as if they were asking my dad, "Hey, Daddy, who's that woman in our house on the weekends?" You know, my kids were only little; they were only 1 and 3 at the time. So success for me is financial success, definitely. You know, I've got a certain lifestyle that I like to maintain, but success for me also means having the flexibility to also enjoy the financial success that I have created for myself. So also time freedom, in a way, where I get to spend time with my children in the mornings when they're actually cute and lovable, as opposed to in the evenings when they're little monsters who don't want to go to bed, right? So yes, it's just having that freedom, and the fact that I don't have to be in London all year. I actually get to go to your retreat in LA, which is amazing. I get to go to other retreats. I can in August, I was at Tony Robbins Life and Wealth in Tenerife, and I was coaching from there. So I wouldn't have been able to do that as a stock market analyst. So it's also that having that freedom to coach from anywhere in the world and to spend as much time as I want with my family without necessarily sacrificing financial success.
It's super cool, and it's just amazing. Like, I love the potential of like your kids seeing you do what you want to do and love what you do, and having them. I mean, on our coaching calls, we've had babies, we've had dogs, we've had sharks, we've had all of the things, and this is real life, guys. Like, you've got to get used to it, because you can pretend that everything's like super slick on the surface, but actually real life happens, and you never know like where business is going to take you. So you better get to grips with the fact that you're going to come up with challenges, and things are going to, curveballs are going to fly at you. You've got to deal with that all the way along. So tell me, like, talking about like curveballs and challenges, like, I'm fascinated through the work that we've done at Unstoppable Success, the work that I've done through my positive psychology, writing Now Is Your Chance, now writing Force of Nature, doing our Unstoppable Success documentary as well. Like, really fascinated looking at what it is that commonly stops people and what it truly takes to become unstoppable. So what would you say is the biggest thing that has stopped you, Bianca?
I think the biggest thing for me as a high achiever was to let go and to actually go to bed when it's time to go to bed. So when I first became an entrepreneur and I realized that, hey, there's no boss barking into the back of my neck that I haven't done APC, it was actually really hard to have the self-discipline to say at 10 p.m. In the evening, it's time to go to bed now, because tomorrow is another day. When you're in stockbroking and you have to be at your desk at 6:20 in the morning, then you make sure that you're in bed at a decent time, because tomorrow at 6:30 you have to be on the ball, ready to read the right content really, really quickly. And as a coach, I didn't have that. As a coach, I'd get stay up until after 10 and get a second wind, and then just be up until 3 a.m. And then the following morning, when the kids came jumping into my bed at 7 or whatever, I just feel like I hadn't slept in 3 weeks. So that was really difficult to actually have self-discipline and really, do what I need to do in order to be the best version of myself. And therefore, joining a mastermind like the Unstoppable Success Accelerator was really, really important for me, because with the peer group, you see what everybody else is doing. and also what they're struggling with. And then you all of a sudden like, oh, okay, it's not just me, you know, other people also struggle with going to bed on time and having those second wins, and we can all support each other to you know, get to a place where actually we get to do our morning routine in the mornings and really do these things together, so that this nighttime working, which at the end of the day is just destroying everything for me, because I spent the whole day afterwards not doing anything and then beating myself up that I haven't, and you know, it's just this vicious circle. So having the support from other ladies is just so valuable to know that, okay, this is real, this is something that everybody struggles with, and it doesn't mean that I'm not up for the job, right? It's just something new that I have to learn, and it's something new that is learnable that other people have learned as well. So self-care really has always been a big struggle for me, and I had to learn new ways of self-care when I became an entrepreneur.
I think it's certain that you can say that as high achievers, we find it harder to switch off than we do to be motivated. So traditionally, you look at a lot of the like literature or a lot of the material, and everything's like around like motivation, like you can do it, keep going, push harder. And certainly from your story and like from what I've seen, like I know you supported me through my journey of like adrenal fatigue and given me tips and pointers when we were at the retreat and afterwards of what I can do to support myself out of this phase of burnout and actually into a more sustainable way of working and living. So it's something that's very, very prevalent in the entrepreneurial culture right now. And it's something that is like the work that you do, Bianca, is really, really important. So I'm grateful that you're here and you're sharing your wisdom on that. And it's awesome to see that it's not just from like an academic standpoint. So it's not just from, I'm going to preach about these things that I've learned. It's actually, hey guys, this is what I've experienced.
Yeah.
Too. And I think you're right. Like that is one of the most powerful things that we can do as coaches, is to share the stuff that's been shit and the stuff that's hard, so that other people understand that we aren't superhuman and everybody's struggles are actually, we're all the same. Yeah. So just to wrap up, like, what would you say? So if someone out there that's watching or listening would love to create unstoppable success within themselves, within their business, what would be like one top tip that you could give them?
I guess the one top tip I would give to people is really know your why. Know why it is that you want to become an entrepreneur. Know what exactly unstoppable success means to you, and why is it that thing that means unstoppable success to you. And you can probably even go a few layers deeper, you know, once you get to that response, ask yourself that question again, and why is that so important to you? So for me, you know, initially when I thought about, you know, why do I want to have my own business, it was, oh, I just want to have freedom, you know, I want to get out of that gilded cage that office building meant for me that I've been working in for the last 10 years. So freedom was important, but then why do I want freedom? And I kept asking myself that question, and what it really boiled down to is that, yes, of course, I do want to have freedom and spend time with my kids and be able to travel and all those things. But what it really boiled down to for me is that when my parents died, and they died very young at the same time as I had my kids, I felt like this empty space inside my chest. And I was like, I can't stay in this office building, you know, following exactly into my parents' footsteps, because they'd been entrepreneurs that had overworked themselves and that thought that burnout was just part of the job description of being an entrepreneur. You know, if you have your own business, you got to hustle and you got to feel tired, but you just have to keep going. And that attitude ran my parents into the ground, and they died. My dad died 4 weeks before Max, who was just in the video, was born, you know. So Max never met his granddad. Felix, the second kid that was here, never met his grandmother, because my mom, you know, died a year after my dad, and they were both dying from the consequences of burnout. Wow. So when they both passed away at the same time as I had my children, and, you know, I started thinking about this whole, what's the purpose of life and what's my role on this planet, etc. And what kind of example am I giving to my children? That's when I realized, you know, I can't do this for that much longer. You know, there's other things that are so much more important in this world. And, you know, having overcome burnout myself at the beginning of my career, because I was just this normal German girl from a little village in North Germany who hadn't gone to all the schools and all the universities and all the rest. And, you know, I was in this world of investment banking where everybody else was so amazing and I was just this normal person. So having overcome burnout myself really early in my career just gave me this sense of, hey, I have to help other people so that other people don't end up like my parents did and died before it's their time, before they have fulfilled their mission on this planet. So that's what I get fired up on, right? That's the fire under my ass that keeps me going. And so the tip I would give to other entrepreneurs is know why it is that you have to do this business now, because that's what keeps you going when the data hits the fan, right? Because there's going to be massive obstacles and you got to know why it is that you're doing what you're doing so that you keep going. And that's when you get your unstoppable success. It's this amazing feeling that you're actually helping people whilst you're living the life that you want to live.
You're literally giving me chills. Thank you so much for being so open to sharing your why and to sharing your experience, Bianca. I appreciate you so much. So I am wishing you all of the happiness and success in the world. I'm really excited to see what happens next on your journey of unstoppable success. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, Nick, so much for all your help and guidance along the path. If it hadn't been for you, you know, I wouldn't be here. So I'm so grateful for you.